Hey everyone, Tony Ivanov here, lead trader and mentor of TradeBuddy. Today I'm going to go over a video lesson on exactly how I made $447.50 by doing one trade on ADIL. This was a very easy trade, buying support, selling resistance. I left a ton on the table because it happened to squeeze up to $3.62 in one massive short squeeze. I did not capitalize on the entire move, but I stuck to my plan, and that's the most important thing when we're trading. All right, so we're going to break down this trade, exactly why I chose ADIL and everything about it. So if you want to learn more about trading, just make sure you watch this entire video because there's going to be a lot of awesome information in here. All right, let's get over to my screen share and break this down. Alrighty, so here we are on my screen share, and first thing I want to say is if you're new to my channel, thank you very much for stopping by. I have an FAQ in the description that breaks down exactly what programs I use to trade, what brokers I use, and what scanners I use, and all those basic questions. Just make sure you check out the description, press the read more, and there's a ton of information in there. And also, you can check out the links down below because I have a free 2-week trial of Equity Feed. That is this scanner right here, this dark theme one. And then also, I have a link to join Trade Ideas Pro. There is no trial for that one, but it is these two windows right here. I recommend at least having one of those if you want to trade. They do have a monthly fee, but it's kind of a business expense when it comes to trading. You need to have a scanner like these in order to find these stocks every single day. So with that out of the way, let's just get right into this trade. First of all, let me just bring up my the chart with my entries and exits. Have it right here, posted it in the TradeBuddy chat room. So this was a trade that I was talking about during the live stream I do every single morning inside the chat room. You can watch my screen exactly how you see it now, and you can hear me commentate on these stocks. And we were watching ADIL because it was having very nice support in the 260 areas, and I chose, you know what, we are probably going to see a reversal because it's around the time of morning reversals. So I chose to load up some size, not enough size. I was trying to get another 1,000 or so shares down right at 260, but never got filled. And then you can see I took profits as per my plan. I took some profits at 283, 289, and then the rest at 313. But you can see that this last candle instantly squeezed up to 363. So I just happened to sell right as it broke high of day because that was my plan. I really had no idea it would squeeze up to 363 that fast. So I left a ton on the table, but just goes to show that as long as you have a good entry, the rest of the trade is really stress-free, and that's what we're going to be breaking down today. So let me just get this out of the way, and let's just talk about ADIL, why it came up on the scanners, and exactly why we traded it. So the main thing I want to say is that look at ADIL here on the Equity Feed scanner. Dominated the dollar volume today with almost $100 million of volume traded with only a 2.07 million share float. And that's the key thing. ADIL is a low float, and that's what we love to see. Past few days we've been trading stock UXIN, which has around an 8 million share float, and that is just not what I really like to trade personally. UXIN is a higher priced one as well, so it wasn't really part of my criteria, and that's why I wasn't really too fond of trading it this week. But I was really prepared to have a new stock come up, and ADIL was great. It has good news. If you look at the news real quick, it says they announced planned expansion of lead asset AD04 into opioid addiction, and essentially that's really good news because they're expanding their production of a very important drug. So that brought the volume to the stock. It doesn't really matter like how good the news actually is, but the main thing is that the news sounds good. It has a nice catchy headline, and all that really does is it brings attention to the stock. That's all we need. We don't care if the news is going to help the stock 6 months from now. All we need is volume today on the release of the news. All right, so good news combined with the fact that this is a low float of only 2 million shares, and with the fact that this was a previous runner, uh, not not even 2 weeks ago, it ran from 140s up to $5, meaning we know that this stock, when it has volume, it can run, and it runs hard. So that's all very good. And then intraday, we were watching ADIL, and the one thing I noticed after it had its morning price action, and the main thing I was saying in the webinar was, I don't want to trade the morning. I want to wait until we have a stock that, has a nice chart developed. When you trade right at the morning, it's kind of hard to gauge what the chart's doing. But if you can wait around an hour, hour and a half, it's very clear where the resistance is and where the support is, and that's exactly how I base my trades. So if we look at the price action of ADIL, one of the key components is this support at this 260 line, and we can see we had a nice double bottom here in the morning where it bounced off this 260 area 2 times and then ran up to 310, which immediately shows that, okay, ADIL, it has range. When it gets volume, it can run very hard. This rally here from 260s to 310s is 18% in 9 minutes. That's very good. That shows volatility, and that shows that if we get a good entry, we can make very easy profits from this stock. So first thing off the bat is that we know that there is a defined level of support in this 260 area, and you can see I just used the line chart because that helps average out your candles, and it makes the areas of support a lot easier to see. So I'll just box it here. You can see this entire area holds as support, and then the resistance is at like 285 pre-market highs from here, and then 310-ish from that initial rally. So once we hit that resistance at 310, we fall all the way back down to this 263 area, and this is where it started to really catch my attention because I didn't want to buy the first dip just in case I had a breakdown, and that's exactly what it did. But once it broke down, we can see it broke from the 259s only down to 255, and that's what we call like a fake breakdown. It broke down to new lows. It trapped more shorts who were going short into weakness, but it didn't fall apart like people expected it to. It caught itself right away, and that's a very important thing to take note of when you're watching for a dip buy, because what this essentially means is that on this candle, when it broke the low of 256 from this candle at 9:34 a.m., is that lots of longs probably stopped out because they were too scared. They didn't want it to fall down on them. And lots of shorts added into their position because they said, oh, it's breaking support, it's going to go further. But nope, it caught itself right away and had a very strong bounce back up to 275. So that was a very interesting thing to me, and that's what caused me to enter back again when it bounced off of 263 one last time. So that's exactly where I entered. As we can see from the chart, I'll just bring these side by side. You can see right in this area is where I was buying 264s and 268s. So I was trying to buy even more size, but I didn't get filled. I didn't want to be too aggressive on it. I just wanted to have a nice entry and not mess up my average. So essentially my plan was, you know what, I'm going to buy in 262s and I'm going to stop out if it breaks under 250. That's when we clearly know, okay, if it breaks under 250, it's no longer a fake breakdown, it's actually breaking down. And I know that's a bit large of a risk, but in the case of ADIL, when we have so much range, you kind of have to give it a little bit of more wiggle room in order to not get stopped out too soon, like the people who got stopped out here did. So after that, it was just like a matter of choosing where I want to take profits and then letting the stock do its thing. I really try to stress in the chat room, entries are everything, and always have a plan with your trade. Always know exactly where you're going to buy in, always know where you're going to take profits, and always know where you're going to stop out before entering the trade. And the areas that I chose were simply levels of resistance that we saw on the chart. Once again, this 284 line from the pre-market highs I chose to sell 283 just to, you know, have that nice exit. As you can see, I sold 283 right there. 289 was another level of resistance that we saw somewhere. I forgot where I got that from. Maybe I didn't have a level of resistance there, but I just chose to take profits above 283s. And then the last sell around the 313 area was just the sell at resistance, because I didn't really think ADIL would break out. I just chose to, you know what, buy support, sell resistance. That's a guaranteed play. And I followed my plan. I had no idea that we were going to have this massive short squeeze out from the 296 up to $3.63. No one can predict that. But as long as you have a good entry, like I say, the rest of the trade is stress-free and emotionless. And that's what you have to strive for. So going into tomorrow, I really want all of you to just try to identify a level of support that you can base off of and take the risk, because you never know if a trade is going to work out until it does, right? But the one thing that we do know is that as long as a stock is holding support, then it should test resistance. And if you just base your trades around that basic idea of as long as a price holds support, it should test resistance, then your trades will immediately change and you will immediately become consistently profitable, as long as you choose the right levels of support and as long as you follow the plan every single time. That's basically it for this this trade. I did not touch ADIL anymore, but if you were to trade ADIL at other points, there was one other very awesome way to trade it, and that was just simply buying support, or using the idea of previous resistance acting as new support. So we can see here in the morning, on that initial rally, it hit a very clear resistance level at 310. I'll just box it here to make it super simple to see. So 310, let me just expand this. So that area 310, very obviously a level of resistance. Once we broke through that resistance and squeezed higher, we can say, okay, this previous resistance should act as support. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to leave orders at 310, 312, 315 and wait until the stock falls back down. Because if you do that, you can see that you would have had a very bottom tick entry on 311 and the rest of the trade is stress free. That's what is so important about buying support, selling resistance, is that if the support does hold, you're immediately in the green and there is no stress. You just have to say, okay, when am I going to take these profits? And that's basically it. So very awesome opportunities on ADIL, and very good examples of using support and resistance to base your trades. So with that being said, guys, that's going to wrap up this recap on ADIL, and I hope you enjoy this. Hey, I'm assuming that if you watched this entire video, you saw some great value out of it. I would really appreciate it if you could hit the like button and then hit the subscribe button to be notified of any future videos that I make. Keep in mind, I make videos almost every single day and I live stream every single day in the TradeBuddy community. All information is down below for that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.